Now to the profile of affected companies.
The segment most affected were original equipment manufacturers, followed by component and sub-assembly manufacturers. In short, companies that are quite far along the supply chain. In our issuer sample, 95% were U.S. companies, where the primary place of management or control is in the U.S. 5 issuers were foreign, however with significant business activity in the U.S. In terms of their core business, a quarter of issuers were in the electric, electronic, or high-tech sector, followed by aerospace, defense, and medical life sciences companies. Astounding, however, is that issuers across the board were affected. Also surprising is that most issuers who filed a Form SD processed all 4 3TGs. 98% of them processed tin, and 91% processed gold, which begs the question whether there should not be more companies out there who would process only 1 or 2 3TGs. The precise amount of 3TGs each issuer processed varied greatly for those who were able to quantify their actual use. The volume of gold processed ranged from 100 grams to 4,340 kilograms. Tungsten ranged from half a kilogram to 91,597 kilograms. Tin ranged from 200 grams to 100,000 kilograms. Tantalum ranged from trace amounts to 4,720 kilograms. For many issuers, only trace quantities are found in procured subcomponents or components. For example, an office furniture maker had very little gold, tungsten, and tantalum. One retailer had less than 0.1%, trace amounts only, of all 4 3TGs. Companies were furthermore asked to state their annual revenue of 2013. The full spectrum of company sizes was obtained. The mode was the 1 billion to 5 billion rubric that 37% of companies had generated, which you see in the center orange slice. Yet, relative to the other rubrics, this group accounted for 11% of the total revenue, the top right slice in the outer donut. Extrapolated, the issuer's total revenue was 8.6 trillion in 2013, roughly half of the country's GDP, which that year was 16.8 trillion. Considering that the issuer population was 1,300, among them the largest publicly traded corporations in America, the fact that the Russell 1000 index represents approximately 92% of the US market, this may not come as a surprise. Thus, an obscure, miscellaneous law, tagged on to the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act, is proving to have a considerable reach within the US economy. The yellow band around the first 2 rubrics is to designate the small company segments, companies that bring in less than 100 million, which is a threshold originally based on a 2011 IPC survey. Their relative revenue share is not visible on the outer donut graph. Throughout the survey, we paid particular attention to this segment.